Hi guys, it's me the Chipmunk. You know, I've been thinking for a while now. I miss cheviots discussion forum, as well as even a little bit of Expansion Mansions forum. Because the one good thing about both of those forums is that they had great stories about pregnancy lovers who had wonderful, amazing encounters with pregnant women. I loved reading those. I loved them so much that I copied them off and printed them, and I read them a lot. They make for terrific reading, and they're just wonderful to listen to over and over again. Now, since it's been a long time since Cheviot's site went down, as well as Bellius Maximus's old site and Expansion Mansion's site, some of those stories about encounters with pregnant women have almost certainly been lost, and I bet not everybody printed them off like I did and saved them. So, I thought I would share some of my collection of pregnancy encounters from these old forums with you guys. If this video is very popular and people want to see more of these stories, and I have a fairly good bit of them, well, just let me know. And also, keep in mind, these are not my stories. They're not my encounters with pregnant women. They are stories from other people on various other forums who had these wonderful and amazing encounters with pregnant women. With all that being said, let's get to our first story. Our first story comes from Bellius Maximus's old forum. This post was made around 2006. The anonymous writer of this story says the following, quote, "Reading this forum and the sightings is a revelation. I thought I was the only one into this. In the summer, some friends would hang out after work. One day, a girl brought her friend. She was already 7 months pregnant, no boyfriend, and bored. She had one of those bellies that stuck straight out right from under her large breasts, and came in again pretty low down. She always had only a bikini top on and wrap over skirt. I suggested picnics and always helped her sit by me. She could never reach the basket, so I would pass her food, then let her share mine. Then it would be chocolate iced, then cans of pop and crisps. I said she needed the energy. Within 2 weeks, she grew about 5 inches out and rounded all over. She looked triplet heavy. Whenever her hands were free, I would give her crisp. She could hardly walk, but looked lovely, especially with bare belly, every kick, and growth on show. I was so proud." Now, I've obviously had a long time to read this particular story, and it's one of my favorites. And I believe the person writing this must be from Britain, as they used various British expressions, if I'm not mistaken, in describing certain things, like food and stuff like that. Now, some might be thinking this encounter might not be real, but I believe that it is, and I think it really did happen. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, our next story comes from Cheviot's old discussion forum. The user's name is Roundness, and this story was posted around July 19th, 2012. The story goes like this. Quote, "Just thought I'd share a story from work. I work at a pizza place, not going to say the name or the girl's name, and this girl is nearing the last few weeks of her pregnancy. She's 36 weeks right now. It's been great watching her grow. She's kind of small, only about 5'3", maybe 5'4", and has a huge belly. She lets anyone at work come up and feel her belly, which is awesome, and she's always talking about cravings and how she's getting bigger. It's been great watching her grow because her shirts are always tight. You can see her belly button has popped out. It's so cute watching her waddle around the store with her big belly. I've even hung out with her outside of work. We chilled at a park once, and she pulled up her shirt and let me rub her belly to feel the baby kicking. As big as she is, you think she was having twins. Her belly is so tight and had that glow to it. She always giggles whenever anyone pokes her belly button. Sounds like that guy had the time of his life working there while that pregnant girl was at his workplace. I wish I could have been there. I'm not that lucky." Anyway, on to the next story. Our last story also comes from Cheviot's discussion forum. The user's name is JFingers, and this story was posted in 2003. It's a pretty long story, so just bear with me. Quote, "I haven't had a good encounter in a long time, but I sure had one today. I'm getting ready to move after living in my house for 20 years, so I have lots of stuff to get rid of. We did daycare here, so I had tons of toys that I can't use anymore. One of my friends passed the word along to one of her friends, and I got a call from this woman. She has a daycare center, and yes, she would love the toys. She drives her truck over to my house, and out she gets, pregnant out to there and waddling slowly up to my front door. Nice. She was about 5'4" tall, with wide hips and a big round balloon belly. She and her friend come in to cart the toys away. Her 9-year-old daughter came to help too. The fun started right away. The little girl chirped up, "Mommy says you're her boyfriend." Eyebrows pop up all over the room. Mom is embarrassed. She asks so many questions, I just tell her anything that comes to mind sometimes, she said. "So are you her boyfriend?" the little girl said. I smiled at the tot. "Would you like me to be your mommy's boyfriend?" Now, Mom is trying to salvage the situation. "I don't need a boyfriend, smarty pants," she said. "That's why I have your daddy. Besides," she rubbed her big tummy with both hands, "do you think he'd want a girlfriend that looks like me?" "Well, actually, I'd be delighted." She was plainly pleased with the compliment. "But I've got 2 more at home," she said. "What, 2 more pregnant ladies?" I asked. Now things are completely out of hand. Her friend is laughing uproariously, and her daughter is very happy with the commotion she's caused. "No, 2 more kids," she said, "and this one too, and one in here," as she pats her belly again. Actually, her friend and I did most of the work, because she just wasn't moving too well anymore. At one point, she is sorting through stuff on my table, and we start talking. I told her how nice she looked, and how, when my wife was pregnant, I had my hands on her belly as much as she would let me. She smiled and stood up straight and said, "Well, here, knock yourself out." That was just what I wanted to hear. So I explored that big, warm, round tummy of hers as thoroughly as possibly I could. I just love petite pregos. She was all belly. I told her I was looking for movement inside her, so she'd say, "Try over here." "No, down there some." "I think this is either the butt or the head over here." "No, here, that's it." All over her big swollen figure while she stood there, smiled at me. It was heaven. We finished loading the toys. She made out like a bandit, a whole truckload of toys and a shopping bag overflowing with Disney videos. We were walking to the front door, and she was thanking me profusely. I was about to reach for the doorknob when she said, "How about one for the road?" So she took my hands and pressed them to her belly again. She guided them over her for a few moments before she turned me loose to wander all over her. Now, the 3 of us were chatting while I was exploring that big, beautiful belly again. She and her friend were going on about their pregnancies. No, her friend was not pregnant today. "I don't know why these things happen," she says. "This is my 4th pregnancy, and it seems like I'm getting so much bigger now than I ever did before." "Oh, it's true," her friend interjected. "I thought you were pretty big last time, but this time, wow, just look at the size of you." Now she's looking at me and laughing. She says, "I always get just really huge whenever I'm pregnant." As she laughed, her muscles tightened and made her belly bounce and shake in my hands. "It's just the price I have to pay, but this time, I just can't believe it. Everybody asks me if I'm overdue yet." Ha! Her belly took a big bounce at that. "I'm already bigger now than I was at full term last time. I wish I was due today." "Really?" I'm going nuts right about now. As calmly as I can, I ask, "So when are you due?" "April 10th, a little more than 10 weeks from now." She leaned back and smiled at me as I cradled her broad belly in my hands. I really think she was enjoying the massage. Maybe because she sensed how much I liked it. "Can you imagine what I'll look like in 10 more weeks?" she said. "Oh my, I'm getting absolutely enormous. Huge! I'll be just plain huge." She wasn't very unhappy about it, the prospect. In fact, I think she rather liked the prospect. Her attitude suggested to me that she plainly knew she was going to get very big. As long as she was in for it, she was curious to see just how big she could get. Well, good luck to her. There's actually another part to this story. J. Fingers had another encounter with this pregnant woman a few weeks later. And if you want to know how that encounter went, as well as some of the other stories that I have in my collection, well, just let me know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory road, reading some of the encounters other members have had with pregnant women on the old pregnancy forums. Well, that's all the time we have for now, everybody. This is the Chipmunk, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.